Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. I'm JJ and this over here is Mr. Jared. Thank you so much for choosing to hop on over and vibe bright with us in our cozy corner of the internet. It makes Jared and I very happy. Right, Jared? Yes, he says yes. Today, I'd like to kickstart my vlog series about something resonant in the spiritual community and my spiritual journey, and different topics that I find on the internet that are either resonant across the board for everybody or something that really stands out. Recently, I was tuning into a quilt discussion speaking about this topic of coming out of the spiritual closet, which is a thing, you know. If you are in the LGBT community, as I am, you know, we have to come out. Not easy. We're met with God knows what on the other side. I have found in a spiritual journey, in your own process, in your own self-discovery and self-actualization, transformation process, when we're engaged in spiritual mechanisms and methods that aren't conventional, that aren't listed, you know, under a religion's tab, that doesn't conform to the structures and ideas that have been set up over the past 2,000 years, it can be equally as scary to come out with that. So for me personally, when I started VibeBright, for example, I came out with VibeBright last September. And I was like, okay, this is awesome. I want to shift into being a spiritual entrepreneur, some sort of life coach. I want to help people on their journey of transformation and self-actualization, one vibe at a time, you know, shadow work, inner work, all this awesome stuff. But what helped me and what was a part of my journey was things like astrology and tarot and, you know, witchcraft, you know, spells and rituals, paganism, and these things that have been so demonized in our culture, in this Western culture that's been, you know, completely taken over by the patriarchy. We were only burning women for being witches 100 years ago, not even 100 years ago. So there's a lot of fear, and that really resonates too if you're, you know, if you're lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, you know, it's that same fear of being burnt at the stake for who you are, what you do, what you practice, how you love, and how you experience the world. So coming out of the spiritual closet is a matter of reclaiming our spirit for ourselves, truly. And so when I started VibeBright, I was like, I'll focus on meditation, I'll talk about shadow work, transformational wellness and health and stuff like that. And I started things like Meditation Mondays, which was awesome, and I still do that. But like that was kind of it, and it felt so flat. And I had written down in my notes like, oh, like these are the different things I can use that I can talk about, and I realized I had things like tarot and astrology and moon magic on there, and it scared me. I was like, do I really want to come out with this to the public? And then something clicked at the beginning of this year of 2021 in January. I think in general, like being stuck in a pandemic and quarantine makes you kind of reevaluate your priorities and makes you really be true to yourself. And I was like, oh my God, if this ever happens again, like damn it to hell, I'm giving up this act of being something else, doing something else to make other people happy and to please other people's ideas of who I am and what I want, just to make sure that they're comfortable, that they're okay with that. I'm like, life is too short. The world is literally ending, and I don't have time for that. In January, I did a little bit of soul searching, and I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna come out and say like, you know what? Like, I am into astrology, and I practice things like tarot and moon magic, manifestation, rituals and spell work and shadow work that involves different things like planetary magic and Greek gods, like, and deities. And it's so funny too, because for me, delving into more esoteric, mysterious, even taboo subjects and things that have been demonized by our culture only opened my eyes more to the truth, to spirit itself, and with God, the universe, the totality of creation. And I just thought it was so funny, and it was honestly like a weight was lifted off of my shoulders. But if you don't like it, cool, you can keep scrolling. You can block me, you can unfollow me, that's cool. But I realized that by putting myself out here like this, by coming out of the spiritual closet with, you know, the things that I love, that I enjoy, that have taught me, that have helped me, and I'm gonna start attracting people that are also into it, that also are into tarot and astrology and moon magic and, you know, deities and stuff like this, and working with crystals and manifestation and quantum leaps and shadow work and all this stuff. And I found that those people are gonna hang out and want to talk about these things with you because it lights them up too. And so a community starts to be birthed out of this, you know? We're at a point where, thankfully, you know, a lot of people have the freedom to come out of this spiritual closet and say, like, this is what I practice, this is what I do, and if you don't like it, you can just keep on moving. I'm making this video to really make it a point to say that it's part of the process. Because yes, your spiritual journey, your spiritual development, your connection with source and the universe and the big picture, whatever that looks like for you, however you practice that, however it is for you that you connect with something bigger than just yourself, it is personal. But we can't let that be an excuse to hide it from the world or hide that light from the world. We don't have to, not everybody has to go on camera and do these kind of things and be a spiritual entrepreneur on the internet. It's not what I'm saying. But there's a point of acceptance that needs to be reached where we can cultivate that light within ourselves, do the work, do the practices, and then bring that light out into the world. If there is a glimmer of shame around what we do and around what we practice, shame is like a parasite that dims our light, that kills our magic. Shame is the #1 magic killer. And we have to just be aware of that. You know, are you hiding because you're scared, or are you doing your thing in private because you're learning and you're growing and it's a personal experience? There's so many of us out here trying to self-actualize and doing this work and to expand and to accept and to create freedom and joy, and it doesn't happen in the closet. It does not happen in the spiritual closet. You know, the spiritual practice does not start and stop in the journaling exercise. It doesn't start and stop at the meditation or at the breath work. It doesn't start and stop at the moon circle that you go to with your group, you know, of friends, which is great, you know. And that's why too, I think an awesome step forward that I also partook in was going into small groups, finding people online. There's online communities, there are Facebook groups, there are support groups, there are forums, you know, and things like Mighty Networks out there. A community to start a discussion, to create a space where we can help each other and support each other on this transformative self-actualization journey that is all about, you know, embodying your spiritual potential and embodying your truth and your essence and your energy and healing through everything that has been holding us back. If we're hiding away and we're scared of coming out and being truthful with our practices, with our work, with what we do and with what we believe, we are doing the world a disservice, because that's not the point of the work. The point of the work is not to sit up in the mountain and stay there. The point of the work was to figure that shit out at the top of the mountain and come back down to the village and tell the people what the hell you learned. There's so much constriction and just demonized thought around different cultures and traditions and peoples that have discovered other ways to go about spiritual practice and ascension and expansion and self-actualization, that it holds us back in the Western world. And today, now more than ever, the old is becoming new again because of technology and because of science and because of knowledge and how fast knowledge is able to spread thanks to things like the internet. And that's truly a beautiful part of being alive right now in the 21st century, and something that we, you know, take for granted way too often, but know that it is such an awesome tool to use in tandem with in your journey and with your practices. But again, it can't just start and stop, you know, in the meditation or during the prayer. If we're practicing and then we're not taking that light, we're not taking that knowledge, that awareness into our daily life, into our relationships, into our jobs, into our morning routines, at the gym, at the gas station, what the hell are we doing it for? And what holds us back from actually living in that light, in that awareness, and in that presence in the world, more often than not, is the shame, is that resentment, is that guilt, that embarrassment that we might be met with. Doesn't mean you have to tell everybody what you do and what you believe in and what you practice and all the deities and all the altars you have in your house. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is allow that light to shine through, even in the most mundane of circumstances. And we can't let that happen if there's shame attached to it, if there's this fear of being judged, of being burnt at the stake in the world. You know, and that's that same fear that I'm very familiar with, of coming out of the gay closet, you know? It's fucking scary. And I'm here to tell you that yes, it's scary, but on the other side, there's so much beauty, there's so much freedom, there's so much acceptance and love, and so many people willing to just take you in. People that do this kind of thing for a living, that have been through it all, that have, you know, seen the worst, and have come through on the other side with that light, holding that torch, and they're sharing it with the world. Why? Because they got over that shame, they saw it for what it is, and they healed it, and they came back to the village and they said, here you guys go, this is what I found. Isn't it incredible? You know, some people are like, no, it's not a big deal, like, I don't get it, and they walked away. Cool, but the ones that stayed, that's what it matters. That's what you're doing this for. That's what the point is. The spiritual journey, this ascension, this expansion is about bringing that light into the world, taking the time you need, and going into the world with it. And that's when we stop caring about what people will say and think and do. We don't feel threatened anymore because we're living our truth, and we know that our truth is stronger than anything else that anyone can possibly throw at us. And when they do throw shit at us, we're able to greet it with light, with truth. And it's not scary anymore. And we're not threatened. And it's empowering, and that's what we're here to do. We came here to empower ourselves, to empower others. You know, in the world of spirit, the more that you give to someone doesn't take from you. In fact, it actually gives you more. The more you give, the more you get. By dimming your light, you are doing the world a disservice. By staying in the spiritual closet, you are doing the world a disservice. Not to say that you know, it's not scary. Look at your feelings and feel your feelings. But do the work and do the healing to get through that, so that you can come out on the other side and bring your light into the world, because it needs you. Because you're here for a reason. You didn't come to hide and play small. You know, even if you came to live on a mountain and be a Buddhist monk or a nun or something, cool. But if you're watching this video, you're probably not. At the end of the day, I'm here to say, coming out of the spiritual closet is a part of the journey. Shame is a magic killer. You are doing the world a disservice by dimming your light and playing small. We came here to share the light that we receive and the truth that we are with the world. And it starts with the practice that we do on our own in our own time, but the real work is out there in the world. And it's what we take with us outside that is really what it's all for. All right, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, for listening to this chat, for listening to this vlog. Jared and I so appreciate it. Thank you for your love and support. I will be posting these vlogs on Wednesdays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. I'll be posting my guided meditations, and then on Sunday nights, I'll be posting my weekly tarot guidance, so keep an eye out for that. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe to my channel, and yeah, send me some love. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you want to hear me talk about. Let me know if you have any ideas. I'd love to collaborate and to share my time with you guys out there. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I love you. And I hope you have a beautiful rest of your week. Keep vibing bright out there, fam. See you next time.